hit it. So, as you can clearly tell, we've been doing plumbing and electrical with our plumber and electrician for a couple days now. And this is a big, complex house. Okay, so people ask me, John, how do you do these complicated things? There's so many wires coming in and so many things, like, doesn't your mind just blow up? It could, okay? But here's what you do. Every complex thing is a bunch of simple things put together. And if you're methodical about it, if you just go, this goes to this, let's label it. This goes to this, let's label it. This goes to this, and we go on a chain, we're like, this circuit is finished, this area is finished. And then we know from that point, we're good. Then it's easier later on to come back and go, oh, that all makes sense. It looks clean, it's tidy, it's nice, and it's neat, right? And so if it's just chaos and you're all over the place, that's a problem. Now, that leads me to another dilemma, okay? So this has not happened on this job. Everybody's been super sweet, nice, friendly, helpful, you name it. But sometimes I see people and they're like, I want to help somebody. And then they go and they help somebody. And then you know what happens? It gets complicated, it's harder than they thought, there are problems, weather doesn't cooperate, other things come up, and then they get frustrated. And then they get mad because maybe somebody doesn't appreciate it enough or whatever in the world, right? And then that person that's trying to help acts like a jerk. That's not good. You wasted your whole thing. If you're like, I want to be nice, and then you go and you're mean at the end of it, you did it wrong. It doesn't matter how you start the race. It matters how you finish the race, right? Like, you're not judged at the end of a race and you're like, man, he started strong. For the first lap, he did great. The next 20, not so much. Or he intended on winning, but never really did his part. That's not so much either. You got to finish strong. That's in life, that's in projects, that's in everything that you do. And if you want to be nice to somebody and you don't finish strong and you're not kind all the way to the end, that's really a waste. Just letting you know. Anyway, beautiful progress. We're not done yet. I'm only going to be able to do so much because tomorrow I got to go home, but you guys have a wonderful day. Hey there, so maybe you're thinking to yourself, how do I wire a three-way switch? Never fear.
I don't know.
Yeah, never. I don't know either. Never fear.
John never knows.
I don't know nothing. Come closer. Okay.
But
so
everything.
if you get real close in here, we twist all the grounds together, and then we put this stupid green wire nut on there, right? And then all the whites, because we're bypassing those, and we twist those together, yeah. And then we put a wire nut on that. Okay, now we get that out of the way. Okay. There's a 3-wire. Now, 3-wire means that there's 3 wires plus the ground, as opposed to a 2-wire that only has 2 wires plus the ground. So.
Or a 1-wire.
Not really a thing. but okay, so you've got ground, white, and then in this case, black and red. Your black and red are travelers. So in this case, these are where your travelers go. Okay, so this is a 3-way switch. So there's 2 down here, and there's a black, which is called a common. Okay, so your travelers go black and red over here. Doesn't matter which is which. And then
black and red.
Yeah, black and red. That's your travelers. And then in this case, all these blacks. This is hot in, hot out, and another hot out. All go onto here. So what you'd have to do is do a pigtail and then have a 4th wire that comes out and goes onto this. And then you twist all these together. Okay, so that's one side of a 3-way. Now let's come over here. Now a 3-way switch means that if I can turn this switch on, these lights come on, but I can also turn the switch on from over there and the same lights turn on and off, okay? So there's not like an on-off, it's just whichever way it goes. Now in this one, we've got our whites bypassed again. They're tucked back in there. We got our grounds done. This is our travelers again. All right, so that's the 3-wire. And then whenever you twist this wire like this, that means that goes to the light. Okay. So once again, on the back of this, your travelers are going to go black and red to here. Doesn't matter which. And then this to the light is your common, and that will go up here. Okay. Now let me show you what that means in real life. Okay. Let me draw you a diagram. So. Imagine, you guys have your thinking caps on, that we have that switch over there and this switch over here, okay? Up here, we have a light, okay? It looks like the sun, but it's not. It's a much smaller sun. Now, we got power that comes in from the breaker box or whatever, and then we have a wire that comes up to here, but then these are the travelers, okay? So these are the black and red, and they travel. Then we want to get the power to touch the light. And so this will break it either direction, right? So then if we just had a regular switch, this would just go here, and it would just be one side is hot and one side goes to the light. But in this case, we've got a three-way switch. So it comes in and then it goes out here. Now, sometimes there's a four-way switch, which means there's a third place you can switch the same thing. This just has travelers coming in and travelers going out. So there would be a black and a black and a red and a red that just pass through, okay? That's basically just conduit. And then that would break the circuit anywhere in there. And that is how a three-way and a four-way switch works. So I hope you learned something because you guys are smart like that. Oh, hey there. So maybe you're thinking to yourself, so first of all, it's late. But secondly, how do I wire up a meter base and a couple of service disconnects? Number 8, you shouldn't. But I'm gonna show you anyway because I'm kind of a jerk. Okay, so imagine that we've got power lines that you can't see, okay? And they're gonna come underground into an underground cable, okay? Let's take this out of the way. And they're gonna come in through just like this stuff is, but it's a 3-inch and this is only 2-inch. And then those wires are gonna come up, okay? Now, this is neutral, okay? It's got white, so that's neutral. Reds are hot, so there's one hot leg and another hot leg, and each of those are 110, and so that is a total of 220, right? So what's gonna happen is they're gonna put a neutral up here, and when that neutral connects there, it connects to these two neutrals that go over here. They're gonna connect one hot here and one hot here, but then watch what happens. When you connect that, click, then it connects through the smart meter that then brings power over, but it measures how much power is coming through. Sorry, measures, and sends it back to the power company how much power is coming through. So hot comes in, once it connects, it goes through the meter and comes here, and then we've got it separated out into 2 different panels, okay? So keep that in mind first of all, and then I'm gonna show you what's going on in these panels. So in this panel, we've got 2 hots and a neutral that come in. So our neutral comes up in here. We got a ground that goes to a ground rod. Look down here. It goes to a ground rod over there, and then another ground rod 6 feet away from that. Okay, yeah, perfect. And then come back over here. That's because when you ground something, it literally goes 10 feet into the ground. But in the off chance that all the dirt dries up and cracks away from there, we got a second ground rod, so that's highly, highly unlikely that 2 are not going to make any ground contact. All right, so the neutral comes in here, then there's another neutral that goes out to another breaker box inside. We got a hot that comes in here and another hot that comes in here. Then there's a main breaker. Once that trips over and is on, then that gives power to these 2 hots that then go inside to another breaker box. Now on this side, we've got the same thing, okay? So once again, you've got a neutral in and a neutral out. We've got our ground going out. We've got a ground going to a ground rod, and then we've got hot in that comes through here through a breaker, hot through here, and then these 2 hots go inside to the other breaker box. The only reason I can touch this stuff, do not touch this stuff, is because it's not energized, okay? Let me show you what will shock you. Come closer. Underneath these yellow things, there's 2 big lug nuts. Those will shock you. That comes through this breaker. Any of this stuff here, if I was touching that right now and it was energized, I would blow my hand off. These lug nuts here will blow my hand off, okay? That's the dangerous part. Over here, not so much. Over here, not so much. That won't hit you. That won't hit you. This will, that will. Don't touch those things, okay? Same thing over here. Any of these that are with the red on them, those will hit you. Those will hit you up top. And then over here, any of this and that, okay? So that is how this works. Now, these are service disconnects. So what happens, right? Let's just say that your house is on fire. Hopefully it'll never happen. But if it is, it says emergency disconnect. And then you know what happens? The fire department does this. This is an emergency. And then you know what they do? Think about the second part of that compound word. They disconnect it. And then all the power is shut off inside there, and the same thing for that one, right? Now they can't turn it off at the transformer. They can just pull out there's a rod there that's like a fuse. They can pull that down and it'll cut power over here. But they want to just quick turn it off, and then nothing else is going to blow up inside or arc or anything like that. So hopefully you learned something. Love you guys. Hey there. So you remember I started showing you how these breaker boxes work, and I showed you the outside with the meter bases and everything, and I want to show you the inside now that it's pretty much wired up. Okay, so we got hot power coming in, neutral, and ground. Okay, this is our ground bar right here. Yeah, this is our neutral bar right here, all the whites. And then, of course, hot comes in here to these, and all these breakers are in, and all these breakers are in because it's a lot of power. And then what do? We made a chart. Yay! Don't forget that, guys. You'll need it later. And the reason we didn't put it on the actual breaker box is because my handwriting looks like perhaps a chicken stepped in ink and then and are they laying eggs? They're very expensive right now. And then walked across some paper, and then maybe pooped, and then tried to cover it up because they were embarrassed about their poop. And that's what my handwriting looks like. Now, we are done here. I'm done here. Okay, so the goal was we're gonna do all the electrical and all the plumbing. And you know what happened? We did all the electrical and all the plumbing. And we did the gas lines too, right, Joe? Which is amazing. Now, had we lollygagged, which I am not in the habit of doing, we would not have gotten all this done. Had I thought, oh, I'm gonna do the easy stuff now and then do the hard stuff later, we have not gotten it all done. This is a good lesson in life, right? If you think I'm gonna just be lazy and things will happen on their own, they will not. Something less noble will come and eat your time up. And then you'll be like this, I don't have time to do all the things I wanted to do, for all the things I needed to do, and now it's too late. And nobody wants to hear that, right? Nobody wants to hear it's too late. Now, I know a lot of you live your life like that. I don't know how you do it. You're a better person than me. I want to know that all my stuff is done, and I'm like, now I can play. And now I can play. See ya. Hey there. Now maybe you're thinking, John, what is this place you've been working on? It's so beautiful. We don't have like a big picture of it. Well, I want to tell you. So first of all, this is Joe and Rebecca Ward's house, and they've got a huge ranch. How many acres is it?
26.
26 acres,
Farm.
okay. And it's a Tennessee farm, and it's beautiful, okay? And there's woodwork everywhere. Joe has his own sawmill.
I do. I have a sawmill.
Joe cuts all the, so these beams, not these beams, but the beams on the outside, he cuts those himself. It's unbelievable. Okay, so they're going to live in this house, but they've got a separate section that they can rent out for venues or for Airbnb or for whatever. And so I want to kind of explain what's going on. This is a big, great room. Okay, so this is your kitchen, dining room, living room, whatever. And look at the size of this fireplace. My goodness, that's beautiful. I could probably fit a couple elephants in there if they're very small elephants.
Babies.
But gorgeous. And then there's beams all over the place, very high ceilings, all cathedral ceilings, everything. Simply gorgeous. Now, over there, they've got a massive bedroom, a huge bathroom, a ginormous closet, almost as big as my closet, a huge pantry that they can use with all kinds of other cooking things because Rebecca cooks, and it is, I'm gonna go ahead and tell you.
Amazing.
Delicious, yes. Amazing and delicious. And she's got a real gift in this area, which I do not have. My gifts are in other areas. Anyway, they got a big garage. You can drive through and pull your boat through there. They've got a bobcat and all kinds of things. The porch on this thing is unbelievable. It wraps all the way around and then over here as well. All covered porch, absolutely gorgeous. But then let's just say, oh, we want to rent this out. No worries, because this whole area is sectioned off and designed so that you could rent it. How amazing is that? So look, this whole area is a common area. You can have TV and whatever, foosball, ping pong, pool, I don't know what in the world, something cool. And then there's 4 separate bedrooms that have lots of bunks. So if you got a bunch of people, no worries. They've got that covered. Your own bathroom, another bathroom, a sink area, another sink area. Obviously lots and lots of storage closets and all these things. Absolutely gorgeous. Come outside for a second. Watch that. It's energy efficient. There's so much power and water and heat and air and everything. It's amazing. Look at how gorgeous this is. Look at this covered porch. My goodness. And Joe, you cut all this lumber, didn't you?
I did.
Out of trees.
We did.
Sorry.
Rebecca helped.
As a team, they cut all this stuff. Look at these things. They cut those out of trees. Now, I would have thought we should cut this lumber out of steel. But that's why I don't cut my own lumber, right?
Not a good idea.
No, it's not. Maybe we'll cut it out of rock. But that's also not a good idea. But look at this rock. Now tell us about this. This is fake stone, right?
Well, it's sprayed limestone.
It's sprayed limestone, but this is not blocks like it looks like. This is just actually pretty thin, right?
Yes.
And they spray it on there. Well, it looks beautiful. All right, quick, come around the corner. Look at this view. Simply gorgeous. And then down here, oh, I just want to show you. I'm so in love with this place, and I think you will be too. Look, all these were trees, but now they're still trees. They're just,
They haven't been cut down yet. And they won't be.
they won't be. Look at this cathedral. Isn't that beautiful? How beautiful is that? I mean, I don't have to tell you how beautiful it is because you guys have eyes. For those of you that do not have eyes, I just want to apologize. I don't mean that in a way that's racist or however you would say that, like inconsiderate. I'm sorry.
Insensitive.
Yeah, insensitive. If you can't see, I'm really sorry. But beautiful, just beautiful. So many so many different opportunities for hanging out and chilling and bonding with people and just having a wonderful life. Anyway, it's been an honor to help you guys out. And I'm going to go back to Texas and do other stuff like act.
Love ya.
Oh, hey there. So, welcome to yet another episode of John Works Too Much. I realize that recently I've been working less. And when I say working less, I mean doing less construction. At which point you probably are all sitting crying at home or whatever, but I've been doing other things. I wrote 2 more books and got them published, and I've been doing lots of videos, music video, lots of music, playing lots of shows. But I'm gonna do more construction. So, today, we're gonna take out this sliding glass door, and we're gonna put in this French door. And this French door has blinds built into it, which are beautiful, and I'll show you how that works later. But I got a couple questions for you. Number 8, would it be copyright infringement for me to change my last name from Tennell to Bajuice? Because, and let me just say it and then it'll make sense to you. Then my name would be John Bajuice. John Bajuice. Is that copyright infringement? What do you think, Bronson?
I think it might be a good idea.
It's debatable, right? It's definitely catchy. Like John Works Too Much is kind of like, I think some people actually think my last name is Works Too Much, which I think is hilarious. Anyway, we're gonna tear all this out, put that in, and we'll let you know as it happens. Oh, hey there. So, we've just been chilling. We were thinking about playing hopscotch or something, but we got this door out. We spent about 4 minutes getting the door out, right? High five. There we go. And did you learn anything?
Yes.
Yeah? Do you think we should we leave the door like this?
No.
No? What do you want to do instead?
I want to put
Oh, put that door in?
Yeah.
Let's see that. Okay, yeah. You don't like the open concept?
No, because what about a house?
Yeah, hail would be a problem, or like coyotes, owls, giraffes, any of that stuff could just walk right in. Maybe not a giraffe. Did you know that you've never met an ordinary person in your life? Everybody that you meet is special. Treat them that way. All right, love you guys. We're gonna keep working. Oh, hey there. So it's been about 28 minutes, and look at that. As if by magic, I waved a magic wand over it, because Juan and John, and then a French door. Magical. Now, maybe you're thinking to yourself, God gives me all these second chances. I'm just gonna keep like, how do I say this nicely? Taking advantage of his kindness and his mercy and his patience. But you need to hurry and get your life right before you run out of second chances. Because one of these days, the clock's gonna run out. You need to choose a side. You need to choose a side for real. Be like, hey, am I gonna be a Christian? Am I gonna be sold out for God? Or am I gonna keep entertaining all these things that are killing me? You're better than that. All right, love you guys. On to the next one. Oh, hey there. So, I'm out here at a popular water park here in the DFW area. And a friend of mine, her teenager, decided that they were gonna break into this thing and do some vandalism, and so they kind of busted this door up and they wrote some words that aren't very nice and did some symbols that weren't very nice out here, and so I'm here to fix it. But I can't show you what the words are because some would call it adult language, but the truth is it's not adult language at all. It's childish language, right? Adult language is words like this: integrity, love, hard work. Those are adult words, right? Childish words are like, oh wow, you learned a 4-letter word, congratulations. You sound like an idiot. You don't have a real vocabulary, so you just use these handful of words all the time. And so anyway, we're gonna fix this thing. By the way, the parents are very nice, and the teenager is very apologetic, so I'm not upset with anybody, and we're gonna get it taken care of. And the water park is actually being very generous and forgiving, and so rather than getting this person in a lot of trouble, they're just making them pay for it and clean it up. So that's why I'm here. All right, love you guys. We're gonna get as the prophecy foretold, the door's in and it's new, and I got the FRP on the outside, but there's still some graffiti on the walls. I don't want to show you guys that because, you know, it's not nice. So I just want to say that there's a lot of you guys, and you're okay. How do I put this? I had a friend, and she was very determined to do drugs a lot, all the time, and so she would lie about pretty much everything, which happens when you get on pills. It's very common, right? And there came a point I was like, you know, you've got this ability to really be stubborn, which sounds like it's a bad thing. But if you turn that around and you use that for God, oh, you'd be unstoppable. You know, if we took half the amount of effort that we put into doing all the bad things that we do and we went and chased God, we'd be unstoppable. And that's a true story. So anyway, on to the next one.
God has really blessed me. But what does that mean? I think that sometimes people are deceived. And I started asking people, like, what do you think your spiritual gifts are? and they came up with these answers. Tell me what you think.
My spiritual gift is destruction. I've got a lot of rage and a lot of anger. Righteous anger. This is what God has called me to do with my life.
God has given me the ability to point out other people's flaws. I make sure to point out everyone's mistake while ignoring my own. I especially excel with this when I'm online. I just feel like I can really say what's on my heart. I don't have to hold back.
I'm tolerant of the tolerant, and I'm intolerant of the intolerant, which makes me better than them.
Eating a lot. I can eat an entire buffet and go back for seconds.
I am really good at worrying. When I feel sick, I like to Google symptoms and find the worst possible outcome. Then I imagine that and manifest it in my life by my faith.
Can I just brag to you for a minute about my humility?
I pride myself upon loving all things and getting naked with them.
I think my spiritual gift is the ability to party really hard. I don't care how bad life is, I can always find time to get to the bar, and I always have money to get hammered.
God has blessed me with all this.
My spiritual gift's making fat stacks of cash.
I love getting rid of toxic people.
Being able to compartmentalize my bad business and my greed for my salvation.
I'm so good at telling people off.
I feel like those are my spiritual gifts.
Am I the only one that feels like some of these people might be misled? I feel like the things that they're saying are spiritual gifts are more like, you're a horrible person who's misled. Maybe we need to reevaluate. Oh, hey there. So I'm wrapping this season up. We're about to start some new things, and I'm very excited about that. But I wanted to take a second and just tell you about my books and my music. Okay, so in case you have not realized it yet, because maybe you're living in a hole or you just started watching this or whatever, if you search John Tunnell, which is like tunnel with an extra L, on Amazon or Kindle or Audible, then you'll find my books. So my first book is called A Wretch Like Me, and it is the true story about how I was a drug dealer and a drug addict, and I overdosed and died and went to hell, and I got a second chance at life. My second book is called Desperation. This is a modern day story of Job with a Vanilla Sky Matrix kind of a twist that is very interesting and really touches your heart. This is my third book. It's called The Art of Saying Absolutely Nothing at All. It has no words in it. So if you can't read, you're gonna love this book because it's just a bunch of things like, hey, how do I tell everybody my opinion about politics on Facebook? And it's like, you don't, so there's no words. How do I tell my spouse that I'm right and they're wrong? You don't. There's no words. It's really actually pretty good advice, but it's a funny book to buy somebody. My fourth book is called Everyday Angels. This is about a guy who decides he wants to start doing the right thing, and he starts looking for signs in life, and then all the signs are like, do the harder thing, love the unlovely person, and he's like, I don't want to do that, but then when he does, he realizes that it helps to change him, and he feels better, and then there's a huge twist in the middle of it that I don't want to spoil for you, but it's really good. Okay. This book I wrote recently, it's called Here's a Thought. It's the coffee table book of inspiration, and this is something that you can just kind of put down and like a daily devotional kind of thing, but I used to own a music venue called Dream World Music Complex, and so at the bottom of all my emails, I would put some kind of a thought, and I compiled them all into this book, so a lot of people like that one. And this is my most recent book, and this is called How to Succeed in Life, and it is a book full of life hacks and cheat codes and life hacks. This book, so I think everybody knows by this point that I've been fairly successful in my life, and this book just kind of maps out how can you be successful in your life, okay? And there is a lot of financial advice, and then there's a lot of just life habits that will help you to become a successful person. Now also, I've got music. My band is called Angels Unaware, and that is based on the Bible verse that says, be careful to be kind to strangers, because in doing so, some have entertained angels unaware. So the point is to be nice to people. So I just recently made this music video, and I think that you will like it, but you can also search on any streaming platform. So that's Pandora, Spotify, Apple Music, iTunes, I don't know, all the streaming platforms. You can search Angels Unaware, and I have 3 albums up there. And then obviously I've got John Works Too Much, and I'm on Facebook and Instagram, TikTok, and all the other things. So Abundant TV is on Apple TV, Roku, Amazon Fire, and I'm also on CTF TV. So I hope to see you guys in all these places, and I hope to play a show for you soon. If you need me to come speak at your event, or if you need me to come and play at your event, then just get in touch with me. I'm not that hard to get in touch with, and I'm actually a pretty easy to get along with guy, and whatever your budget is, I'll work with it, because I love helping people and I love talking to people. All right, so thank you guys so much. I'll see you next season.
It's you and me. Oh, when I close my eyes for the last time, oh hallelujah, it's you and me.
Thank you guys so much for watching. It really does mean a lot to me. I hope that you guys have a wonderful time. I'll see you next season. In the meantime, if you want to buy some of my merch, it'll help me to put food on my table because, you know, like I'm not a starving artist, but I'm a working artist. And I'm putting water in my kids' cereal right now, even though my kids are grown and they have their own lives.